Okay.
Ready?
We are ready.
Hey guys.
Amazing.
Hey guys, I just met like the most positive, effervescent, come closer.
I'm just gonna keep going further.
I know. I just came from the gym, and she just came from some like euphoric, pleasant smelling state of life because you can't smell this.
Okay, so it's called.
She smells so good.
It's called "Melt My Heart" by. I'm serious.
This is
Melt My
Jasmine
Heart.
Loeb, and
By Strangelove. It's amazing. It's
okay,
like,
guess where I'm going after this? I'm going to buy "Melt My Heart" by Strangelove.
Yes.
7 words I've like never said before, but I'm gonna go own all of that as soon as we're done.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I know. Hold on a second. Yes! So good!
You know. Don't smell my armpits though.
I couldn't tell what it was, but it's a combination of you walking here, being here, talking to me, and having a little Dr. Strangelove. But it's all good.
You know, it's all part of the potion, right?
Yeah, and I'm
Mixture.
drinking it. I'm drinking it right now. So, you guys, this is Jasmine Loeb. She
Hello.
writes for The Observer, the New York Observer.
Yep.
And are you the sex columnist?
I'm the sex
You're the
columnist.
sex columnist. I'm a
Yeah.
little bit nervous being here, like I'm going to say the wrong thing. Or...
Not at all. My God.
So in my last segment, if you will, I was talking to my very best friend in the world about the dying art form of friendship and how we don't have these interpersonal relationships face to face anymore because it's just too easy to maintain, cultivate, have a friendship, brew a friendship over text, over social media. It's just easier to stay in touch that way, so no one makes the effort anymore. And then we were talking about my first awful breakup and how like that gut-wrenching, lay me flat out on the ground, like someone stomped all over me, having to pick myself up from like below rock bottom was what in fact gave me all the strength that I think I have today, and I never let anyone do that to me again. And we were sort of discussing whether heartbreak is good for you and everyone should go through one solid, torrential heartbreak in
I've
their
been
life.
through a bunch. So
As bad as all of them? Really?
I mean, there are certain it's like, comparing like pain,
Yeah,
it's
you're
like
right.
how big is the pain, but
Right.
I am a believer that pain is a catalyst, kind of what Khalil Gibran said, for the breaking of the shell for your understanding. So that in a way, when you experience pain, it's a way to send love to yourself, and that you can
Pause a second. You had me up until that last sentence, so why don't you just and do it again.
That pain is a way that in a way it's a catalyst.
Sure.
A catalyst for integration, and it lets you know the place where you need to send love to yourself. So if you're in great pain about a breakup, you just have to, this is in my belief.
Sure.
It's just calling for you to love yourself that much more. And so in a way, and you have to go through that awful, you have to also embrace it and just let it pour over you. And that ultimately it sort of moves through you.
So, all well and good, makes perfect sense in a small department called hindsight. Because when you are in it, you might as well take like a wine cork bottle opener and rip it into your heart and yank it out. Let it, right?
I say
Do
just
it.
let it. Let the
Embrace
snot
the
come
pain.
out.
Yeah.
Curl up, sob, because at a certain point
Cry
you'll just cry it out, and all of a sudden you'll be like, wait,
Right.
there's no more sobs
like a child, right? Like the way a baby will cry until
and then you have a sense of relief, and you can just pick up and walk away from it, and it's like this peace sort of descends, and then you'll cry again.
Of course,
even
you
if
have
it's a few minutes
to.
later. But I think it's so healthy to experience your emotions, because so often we resist them, and I've resisted them. I mean, so that's I'm coming from a place of I'm a queen resistor.
Yeah.
So my lesson to myself recently
is
just completely drench myself in the emotion, and it's amazing how quickly it passes.
It's great. I love that. I talk about embracing yes when someone needs to change, to find some way to change in their life, and they have a hard time, and they resist it, and they're stubborn, and they're insecure, and they're fearful, and it's just embrace the yes. It's going to eventually get there, so embrace it. Smile when you're in a bad mood. Let it pour all over you. Force yourself to get through it. So I guess I'm curious. I've never been this close to... I once interviewed Dr. Ruth. I don't know if that's the same thing, but I've never been this close to a
she
sex
has
column.
actual sexual advice. Mine is more of experiential, sort of more about using sex as a foil to also talk about some of these emotional issues.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so it's not like just advice, but
Right.
I think it's also in the vein of ultimately being advice. So I just basically contradicted myself.
A little bit, but that's okay.
I just went full circle. So yes, I am a sex advice.
So my question is, so like on your resume as
Right.
a sex advice columnist, is it like
Right.
had sex with this person, had sex with that person, had sex with this person, had sex with that
Yeah.
person, now give advice? Not so
I just
much?
list all the men that I
Good.
have had sex with.
Marnie just brought you a coffee. You're more than welcome to dive right in. Marnie, thank you so much. We're talking sex, baby. We're talking you, and we're talking about all the good things and the bad things that may be.
Oh, that's good.
Let's talk
That's
sex. Digga.
Real quickly though, back to what we were talking about before. I think
Terrible angle, Lance. Just the worst angle. I mean,
I'm sorry, you guys, get closer.
Okay. So
My
we're
knees
just
were
doing
hurting.
like different.
okay, I'm gonna come back
All right.
in here. You do
So,
smell good.
No, now
I
we're gonna just.
I know.
Now we're gonna cuddle. No,
You-
what
you
I
are
wanted to
talking about
say-
sex.
and I have my arm around
Yeah,
you.
it's all good. I'm drinking coffee. I'm not in a safe place right now.
So what I was gonna say is that I think the fear about embracing emotions is that people are afraid they're gonna get lost in there and they'll
Sure.
never come out. And I just wanted to point out that you do when you embrace it, that you
But-
eventually do.
There's a difference between getting lost in your emotion and being weak, right? And we were just starting to talk about that. I think a lot of people feel like if they are too close to their own emotional strand, then they are weak, which means their guard is down, which means
Right.
they're more susceptible to getting hurt again.
Right.
So what you want to do is the natural defense mechanism is to build up a layer, hardened layer,
Yeah.
right? Put your fists up and your arms up and protect your heart and protect your head, and then go out into the world. And that goes against the real
because
grain of
ultimately
what
you're
it should
just
be.
building up a shield.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that shield shields you from your own joy.
Yes.
So-
Wait, I'm sorry, Lance, but I want to like
say
look
these
at you.
lines, and then
Okay.
I'm like,
I know, you're
oh
looking at
wow,
me. I
and I'm
know,
like,
I know, right? You don't have to bend down. You can stand up.
Do you
Does
want to
standing
sit? Do you
hurt
want
your
to?
knees?
Well, you know, you
Do you
get to
wanna
my
s-
age.
do you wanna
No, that's
sit
fine.
on a
I'm good. I'm
your
good.
back?
I'm totally good. No, I was crouching before.
Hidden
There's
tiger. Okay.
What if you know what eternal love is and remember all? That's one of the questions.
What if you know what?
What?
eternal love is, and
and-
you remember everything? I guess what she's saying is that you can't like leave it behind.
No, you can't dismiss it entirely, right?
Right.
Every part of every relationship you've
Yes.
ever had is always going to be a part of who you are.
Yes.
Always.
A learning experience.
Yes.
It reveals something to yourself. And I think that you don't have to forget. I think that's the other thing is I think that one's afraid if you go through the pain and you move through it that you're just going to forget about this past love. You never have to forget.
You don't want
But
to. You shouldn't.
Right. But you don't have to linger in that place of needing that other person or
Right.
because someone once told me that when you have a breakup and you've experienced joy with someone, you miss that joy with someone, you attribute it to that other person, but really that joy came from within you.
Mhm.
So you're missing your own experience of joy. So if it's your own experience of joy, you can find that with other people. You can find that again. You can find that looking at a tree. You could make out with a tree for all you know, and you could literally experience. I think I might just go make out with that tree.
Hey, can I just do one
that's
thing?
the love of my
I'm
life.
like so into this conversation. Like I just feel like moving your hair out of your eyes and
thank
like
you. I love to be
very
stroked.
yeah. Well, I just stroked you a little bit, and that was awkward and yet not awkward at the same time.
It felt so good.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Are we still rolling? Let me ask you a question. What is the most common question, the most common problem people come to you with, or that you enjoy writing about, or what's the topic du jour right now that people are taking issue with?
Yeah, I think that
And I'll just
this
hit some more time. There you go.
this idea of going for the bad boy, going for a guy that's like not necessarily relationship material, but that the chemistry is amazing and there's sparks, but yet long term it isn't right for you.
Right.
And so I think that that's definitely something that comes up, and that's hard to. Chemistry is a pretty incredible thing, but I think at a certain point you get to a place where you realize that you want something more sustainable, and that sort of desire of longing, which often comes from a wound of like need, that need doesn't need to be filled in a way that you can still have desire, but from a healthier place.
Okay.
From a place of. So I think that's one thing. I think also Tinder and online dating is a big thing.
I know.
People get very, they feel like it's just like this weird form of dating. I do know many people that have had success on online dating. For me, I personally don't enjoy it just because I like to have that human connection.
Yes, that's
first.
how I am.
Like I also like going through. I feel like you're very close.
No, he is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like I feel like you're up my nose. Like
No, but I have
Yes,
the.
but
I
he's
want
been
them to be able
closer,
to hear
trust
you.
me.
Oh, okay. But
You get mics for the next show.
right.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's a whole bunch of operation.
I'm sort of like, well, up my nose. All the answers are up my nose.
I know, that's why I wanted him to move back just a hair
No.
or squat.
I'm sorry
but he's,
for making
no.
you uncomfortable.
No, don't squat.
Your
Don't
knees
squat.
or
It's okay.
No. That's good. That's like there's strength.
Marnie could
we
come
were talking
squat.
about it. There's strength in that, and strength in owning your
Watch
own.
Marnie hold. So
where you
Marnie
are.
is my best friend, and she's gonna hold the phone a little bit.
Mm.
If there's anyone
That's a lot.
that before I met you, the only person I talked sex about with was Marnie, and I got
You're
every
far
piece of
away.
advice from her.
Oh, cool.
Which
She
is
was
kind of
my
scary.
sex therapist right here. Now I have another one. Now I have 2 sex advice columnists in my life, which is great. So do you love this? Do you love talking about it? I mean,
do.
we're in an age where I know
love
you don't
talking
love
about it.
like Tinder and all the
Right.
grinders and all of it, but that's where dating is heading right now. Unfortunately, I just did a whole piece for Dr. Oz on how we're obsessed with meeting people this way. That life is about swiping right or swiping left. It's really terrible, right?
I know. It's just like I kept like swiping left, and it felt like no, and I'm like, I want to say yes.
Yes, but
Like
what
this
were you
and-
basing that off? 1 sense. We have
Just
5
one- yeah,
senses,
just like-
and you were using 1 sense to do it.
I know, and I'm so much more like than visual. Like I need like there's smell, there's personality.
Yeah, no, you saw it.
She
There's
does not
you know, there's
Smell
so
of
much
baseball.
more, you know,
It's not
and so that for me. But that being said, I do believe that you can meet someone that way. So I feel like one should do whatever they can to get out there, you know, whether it's online dating, whether it's asking friends to set them up, whether it's going out. I mean, you have to go out.
Right.
You know, I think some people are like, oh, well, how am I going to meet someone? But they
Right.
like spend the night in,
Yeah.
just like, you know, which you need sometimes to like
Correct.
recalibrate, but you know, also
You have to
need
be
to
there.
go out there, and that's how you meet people.
So, are you, I don't know if this is too personal. Are you dating
Yeah.
someone right now?
I am not dating someone right now.
Okay, so the last person you did date, how did you meet them?
I met him through an ex-boyfriend.
So, okay, so someone
so it's a
set
little
you.
awkward.
Okay.
No, no, he didn't set us up. We just all were together hanging out, and
But it wasn't off an app. It was not. Off
it was
an
not
app.
off an app. Yeah.
Marnie met her husband. Wasn't your first conversation, Marnie, with Larry via telephone? Someone set you up and you had a conversation.
Yeah, we had friends set us up, and he wanted to email me first. So our friend who set us up was like, I cannot believe he wants to email you. If you don't want to do it, then you can get it out. But I said, no, it's fine. Let him email me. So he emailed me.
Followed up with how long was that first conversation?
Oh my God, it was like 3.5 hours, and we only hung up because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's great.
And then we were on the
know.
phone for 3 hours a night, every night, until we met. I think it was 2 weeks later.
And why?
Because he lived, we lived
So
a
he-
distance. He was 2 hours away.
Where am I going?
Oh, you're coming closer to me again.
Is that bad?
No, it's great.
Snuggle. He lived, I was
Guys.
in New York City, and he was in Atlantic City. What are you so afraid of? She do smell good.
I know, she
Gosh.
smells so good, I can't handle it.
So he lived
Melt
2
my
hours
heart.
away. And we met 2 weeks after, but we spent so much time on the phone together that by the time we met, we were like so much farther ahead because we had such quality conversations.
Were you afraid when you
Met
first
him?
met him that you wouldn't feel that sort of?
Well, we exchanged pictures, so I knew what he looked like, and I was like, okay with
so
that. I know it's so
1987.
old, and it was like
I
emailed.
love that, though. I
It was
love
like
that.
scanned and emailed.
No, but what you did was you go back to your best picture ever, like your
Right,
pride picture,
right,
the
right.
prom
It was pretty
picture, and you're like, this is
common.
what I look like now. It was like 1984.
And I met him. He was playing poker in Atlantic City, so I met him in Atlantic City. Jenna was in Philly at the time, so I'm like, you're my out. Like, if God forbid something happens, like, you're getting in your car and you're coming to get me. So,
didn't
yeah,
even
it
have
was
a car.
great. It was, you know what? I do think when it's right, you had a car.
I didn't.
In Philly, you did.
Maybe a small
You had
car.
a BMW.
I
When it was right, it was easy. It was easy. Like I dated
Every relationship, right?
No, that's
When it's right,
When
it's
it's right,
easy.
when it wasn't, I had
Yeah.
all these little 3-monthers in New York City, and like those were hard, and they were torturous, and like waiting for the phone call, and but this one was just so easy.
I
And
do
that's
think when it's
it's
right, it's easy.
Yeah.
You know, I've had tastes of that.
Yeah,
You know, tastes
yeah.
Of that.
probably gets harder too when you get older, right?
No.
A little bit. Because
I
you
disagree.
Do you know what you want, or are you too picky, or you're set in your ways?
I think you know what you want.
Yeah,
You
so I
do.
guess it's quicker. You
it's
just
quicker.
know.
You're just sort of like,
Right.
nope. Whereas
Yeah.
like maybe when you're younger, you're sort of like, well,
He's
you know,
cute,
You're open
he's
to more
this.
things.
yeah, maybe this will last a little bit, but it's an experience.
Right.
And now,
First boy you
know.
ever kissed?
This guy named Seth, and we were
This
in the
man.
Catskills. No, I was like 12. He was 18. It was
That is a man.
I mean, it was like a
That's
man to me.
That's a really
Yeah, that's
big
a man.
deal.
It was like a scene of Dirty Dancing. Seriously,
that's
and we were in the
like-
Catskills.
I
First
mean,
guy you ever kissed?
Did he lift you up in the water?
Nobody puts that baby in the corner.
I was not going in the corner.
Ah,
What about you?
Me? Mine was Mike
First.
DiBianco.
Oh,
Mike DiBianco.
he's
We
gotten
went to
so
high
much
school
press.
together.
This guy.
together.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What was yours when we?
I was actually a late bloomer.
It was,
Really?
It was
I was a
Thursday.
really- yeah, this
It was when I just
started.
smelled her.
Yeah.
And we kissed real quick.
yeah.
We missed that on camera.
Yeah, I started really late. I would say my first kiss was when I was like 17 or 18.
Oh no, that was mine. That was mine.
Right when
Right,
I
you were
went.
Junior in high school.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sort of right when I was like going off to college, and I thought I went to a very small private school, so it was like
That's her.
these
Oh.
these kids
Chester.
were it was like 50 kids in my entire grade.
Right.
So it was like it just wasn't going to happen, and I was scared.
Yeah.
There was a fear around it, like what would it be like, and it just never really happened. And the summer before I went to college, I had my first kiss. Well, I had two first kisses. My first kiss was a dare, and it was a girl, and that was really nice.
No, I was just about to tell you about how I had to also. Go on.
And my friends they knew I hadn't kissed anyone, and there was like a lot of there were a bunch of people, and they were like, kiss her. It was so stupid.
Yeah,
But
like a goose.
it was like
You were in the closet. Teen Wolf was on in the background.
Basically,
In the bottom.
and so I kissed her, and it was really nice. I didn't want to stop, but then it was like time to stop.
Right. The time was time.
So, and then the second kiss, this is sort of, I haven't written about this yet, but was actually in a baby.
Okay, better finish that sentence. Like fast.
Okay. You're right.
It was with a baby.
It was in a baby
Car.
threesome. It was in a baby threesome. My second
baby
kiss.
Wow.
There was no sex. It was just like three people.
Is that
getting
what it's
together.
called? A baby?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Oh, I
maybe
was
that's
like,
bad.
I
because-
yeah, that's a
because when you
terrible
start,
way to
you
say
start
it.
it. That's like
Yeah.
you land on baby. you
Right,
know?
right.
And so we call it maybe a beginner's threesome.
Okay, a beginner's threesome.
Yeah, I was with my friend and her boyfriend, or this guy that she had just met who became her boyfriend.
Wow.
We'd done ecstasy, and I was sort of
Wow, it's
chaperoning.
getting very
and
spicy.
then the next thing I knew, they were like
In it.
in it, and I was like
In it.
I was like trying to like chaperone because he was much older, like maybe 5 years older, but
Yeah.
at that age it's like a big
Right,
deal.
right. Yeah, that's a big deal, 5
then
years.
Yeah.
things started to, and then
Must
we
be
ended up
exact.
kissing, and like we got to maybe like second or third base, and I was like enough.
Yeah.
And then I walked away, and I thought, I've done this. I've kissed a guy. I've gone to third base. I can go to college now.
Yeah.
I'm ready for college.
So you called up
It's good
admissions.
prep.
You called
Right.
up
I was like,
admissions.
there was no way I was going to go to college
Without-
without like
right.
at least having
Anything.
something.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was set. I was ready. I was
You had
I was
experienced
ready to
everything
score a
by
home run
17. That was
point,
awesome.
You know?
You didn't even do the traditional just kiss a guy, like one-on-one. You went for like the
Right.
crazy
Well, there
stuff
actually-
first.
She hit a triple right off the
Right.
bat.
It's
That's
almost like my friend who was with me was like holding my hand. It was actually
Oh,
very
that's
sweet. It was like,
nice.
you can do it.
I love it.
You can kiss him.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, okay, are you sure?
Like there were like doves
Wait,
that
doing
were
this
released
right?
when
That's
you were
right,
done in
that's
glitter,
right. Exactly.
came
She
down,
clapped, and it
right,
was like-
confetti.
Oh my god.
So I had the luxury, I don't even want to call it luxury, but the advantage, or not the advantage, but I was able to have a first kiss as a teenager when your guard is sort of down and everyone's doing it for the first time. And then I did it again as an adult when I kissed a woman for the first time. And it was vastly different. Same nerves, same awkward anticipation,
right.
but very, very different in that one I was supposed to, and then one I knew was probably where I was going to now sort of switch gears, make a right hand turn, and go down this avenue the rest of my life.
How did that happen? Like, how did, like, what, it just was a knowing of feeling that
No.
you...
So interestingly enough, should we take a break and come back?
No, this is great. I was just checking
All right.
the time.
Do people care about the story?
I
Should tell the
care.
truth?
I
think
care.
people-
Yeah,
I
this is
care.
actually doing well. Like, we won't stop.
Okay, so here's what happened. 5 years prior to my first kiss with a woman, and I this is really personal.
I know, I mean, my threesome was personal too. But I guess I'm used to it. I detailed it.
Yeah, I'm actually not a sex therapist,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Yeah.
I don't know if you choose to believe it or not. 5 years prior, we went to a Club Med, Marty and I, on vacation.
1999.
Yeah, I mean, like really cheap. Like we were in some dinky hotel with like 2 little beds. It was like nothing, bare, stripped down, whatever. And you have different activities. And real quick, there was a woman who ran the trapeze activity, and I didn't know what it was, but I kept going back every day. I don't love trapeze. Like, who am I to love trapeze? Went back every single day, and it was because I was drawn to this woman for whatever reason. She was athletic, and she had a personality, and I really wanted to just sort of, I didn't understand it, but just be around her. And after 3 or 4 days, we were in the room getting ready to go to sleep that night, and I said to Marnie, and I said, hey, Marnie, and she said, what? And I go, you know, I really like, her name was Janine. I go, I think I like this Janine person. Do you?
Wow.
I remember said it. I said,
Yeah.
do you think maybe I'm gay? It was that simple.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
And she said, I will never forget it. Without even skipping a frame of time, it's great if you are, and that's awesome, and yes, and how beautiful and lovely, and let's follow it, and like you were so positive.
Yeah, like I wanted her
Right.
to go for it and
Right.
see if it really was the case.
Hold on.
Fast forward.
2 days later, 2 days later, I got conjunctivitis and pink eye in both eyes.
That was after you
Okay,
hit
wait.
on her.
It was starting. My eyes were getting a little bit. My eyes were starting to itch a lot this one night. And Marnie convinced me. She infused me with confidence and said, "It's time to walk up to this woman and tell her."
Listen, I felt like she
Guys,
was. Here's the thing: she
hold
was
on.
going back to Philadelphia to start her new job after this vacation. She was the first female sports anchor in Philadelphia, and I'm like, if you want to check this out, test it out, and really see if this is real, do it now. We're on vacation. Like, this is the time. Don't walk into Philadelphia and be like, "Hi, I'm the first news sportscaster, and I might or may not be gay." I'm
Let me
not sure."
translate what that was. It was being in the Rocky ring, and you had Coach. Remember that old guy coaching? And he's like pouring water on your head, and he's giving you the massage, and he's like, "You can beat Creed. You can beat him. Like, you can do anything you want to do. You are so strong, and you are so powerful, and you are so beautiful, and you get out there, and you show her." And I was like, "Yes!"
Oh, I was so pumped.
I was like, "I can
Go
do
for
this.
it.
I can
Yeah.
do this." And she like pushed me out into this like area, and I was like, yes. Now the only experience I ever had with hitting on a woman was watching an episode of The Golden Girls where Rose Nyland's friend came to visit and hit on Rose, and the words she used was, "I'm very intrigued by you." So in my mind, I thought that's how you hit on a woman. So awful. I need
I know,
you.
I
You see how
love
much
it.
I
No,
need
no,
it?
no, no.
I walk up to
It
this.
couldn't have been any better.
Right.
No, that's how it is. You
So
know?
here we go. I walk into the thing. My eyes are starting to itch. I didn't know why at the time. I'm like, God, I must be really nervous. And I look at her, and she was dating some guy, and the both of them are like, yeah.
We're like,
And I'm
go
like,
for it.
yes. I'm like, excuse me, Janine, can I talk to you for a second? And yes, my heart had literally fallen out of it was like on the floor. I was like, eh. And I was like, listen, let me tell you something. I'm starting a new job. Not that she cared.
All of a
I'm
sudden
starting
she
a
goes,
new.
"Ooh."
Yeah, I'm starting a new job in 2 weeks, and I have nothing to lose, and I don't know what it is about you, and I just want to tell you that I am very, very intrigued by you, and I really enjoy what you do with the trapeze. Hold on, I didn't know what I was saying. I go, and I really, really want to take you for a walk on the beach. I even said this, and maybe, I don't know, hold your hand or something, but we should just get together and just go walking, and I find you very intriguing, and I'm going to take a job in Philadelphia. I was literally just saying words that I knew. And I was like, olives, table, like just saying anything, right? She looked at me, and I was like, she might kiss me. Like, what's going to happen? I had no idea. The woman looked me right in the eyes, and she goes, "Thank you," and turned around and walked away. And I was left standing there.
Wow.
And who cares? Long story short, the next day I woke up with pink eye in both eyes and had to get on a plane with dark sunglasses, remember, because I couldn't see anything. I was literally blind, devastated. And I went right back into the closet for 5 more years, and I never talked about a woman again. I never approached the topic again. Nothing ever happened after that.
Did you date guys during that time?
And I dated guys during that time, because I just thought that I had it wrong.
Right. Wow.
In retrospect, do you think she wasn't gay?
No, she was gay.
Oh, she was. Okay.
I just don't think I hit on her the right way. I might have used the wrong words. I needed someone like Jasmine to guide me through
That's
it.
right.
Unlike Marnie, who was like, go get him.
I didn't know what was going to come out of your mouth. I thought, if
that's
anything, she'll be complimented.
That's the way it's supposed to be,
But she's
though.
supposed
And
to
maybe
try.
you needed that time to sort of integrate
Yep.
and really kind of. I think that when you start looking at the past and say I should have, would have, like,
No.
it's dangerous. Like, it got you where you are now.
That's what I
and-
think. It all
you
builds
know,
on
and
each other.
Exactly.
And I was ready to meet Christine. It was my first girlfriend. And when I met her,
And how did that go?
that was much smoother. I was 5 years
See,
older and
you
wiser.
needed practice.
Oh, I needed practice.
It gave us a lot of good laughs too over
Yeah,
those 5
we
years.
still have some good laughs.
We still laugh about it.
Yeah.
So in that case, it
But
wasn't
look,
for nothing.
No,
The-
of course not.
Yeah, it was good with Christine, but it wasn't good. I was nerve-wracked and I was insecure and I
Did you
was
feel
terrified.
like you missed out on those 5 years?
Yes.
You do.
Sure, it would have been nice to have been able to terrible word. It would have been
Right.
nice to be able to go out and like
Right.
hit and miss
Be a
and
little
date
more
and be a little more
Who
like
you were.
yeah, you know, try it on for size. And at the time I wasn't out.
Mm-hmm.
Marnie knew and a couple of my friends knew, but I
Were
didn't.
you afraid of it? Were you afraid of being out or what that meant?
The
on
problem
some level?
was, Jasmine, is that I played this role on television. And at the time, on morning TV, morning news, this is not what people were talking about. Now, I wasn't afraid of it. I had no problem telling everyone in my life. All my friends knew, right? I took
Right.
Christine everywhere. We ended up
Yeah.
dating this first girl for a little bit. I just wasn't ready to tell work, and I wasn't ready to tell my followers or my fans or whatever you want to call them. I wasn't ready. And this is what I tell every single person that is even thinking about coming out, because I'll tell you, I don't stand on a soapbox. I'm not self-righteous about it. I don't wave flags. I don't march in parades. I don't sign bills. I don't need to like stand down at City Hall. None of that. You want to do that, I will
Right.
support you.
Yeah.
It's not me. I live my life exactly the way I live my life. And I tell people this all the time. You need to do this when you're ready to do it. Your time frame. It's great if you're able to, and you should at some point when you are ready to do it. Nobody can convince you. There are 3 things in life nobody can convince you to do. Tell me if I'm right or wrong here. 1, stop smoking. 2, it's time to start losing weight. And 3, time to break up with someone. Those are
Yeah.
the 3 things that nobody can do
So true.
unless they are ready to do it
You have to do
themselves.
it
And I would
yourself.
even say coming out might be a close fourth for that. I've spoken a long time, and all I really wanted to do, both of us, was really hear from you. To go. So your coming out party was obviously when you had a threesome with your best friend as the chaperone for prom.
Basically. And then, yeah, I went off to college, and it was, hit a home run.
Whore.
I was a great player. No.
That's it. Don't beat around the bush, Jasmine.
Yeah, no, but I had
Low.
a boyfriend for a couple of years, and then senior year it kind of went a little wild.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to. You go through these phases.
Marnie was like a total whore.
Dude,
in her-
I was
Sorry. I'm just kidding. No, you have to.
Yeah.
to.
You have those times in your life where
Where you're more promiscuous than
Yes.
others. At this right now, I'm more like sex for me is very intimate in a way that maybe it wasn't when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's much more like I want to be with a person that I feel that not only that my body feels really safe with too.
Yeah.
And part of that for me is getting to know someone. And that's very different from when I was like 22 and like
Yeah.
woo-hoo.
Right,
So I
right.
think you kind of go through these different phases in your evolution, and yeah.
Right?
So
You feel that way. Well, you're
you're married.
I'm married.
You're married.
Yes, married for 12 years. So
Amazing.
yeah. So I'm in a different place than you are
Right. Yeah.
right
yeah.
now.
Mhm.
But I mean, I had a boyfriend for 3 years, like college and post college, and when we broke up, I was like, wow, there's a whole world out there. Like, how great. So I do think it's good for, it's nice to be able to have opportunities for different experiences and, kind of
Yeah.
see what's out there. And
I also think it's okay to have, to take little breaks too.
Mm-hmm.
That I think there's this pressure that one is always supposed to be out, dating and, but sometimes it's also great to just take a break and date yourself.
Yeah.
Like really
God,
just
I'd love
like,
to date me,
romance
Jasmine.
yourself.
No, I'm
know what I
such.
mean?
No, I'm hot. I have a great body. I'm so good at sports.
Make out with yourself. Like, have you
Oh.
ever made out with your palm?
I really want to know what that looks like.
Here, I'll show you. I can show you. All right.
Wow, that is phenomenal. What is our
Thanks,
attention
thanks.
right now?
Yeah, like, my mom is just
Great.
really like, you know,
I
it's
love
just so
your
lovely that I just
mom.
wanted to, you know. But so I think that's
Yeah, I
you know,
agree
it's
with that.
important, and it's important to be kind to yourself because we're also so hard on ourselves
Yeah.
sometimes. And I think that you know you can meet that person and be more fulfilled when you've taken that time to really love yourself or really get to know yourself in a way.
Yep.
You know, because I
Mhm.
feel like some people just come together and they're just like in this whirlwind of like
Right.
you know trying to complete each other and
Yeah.
trying to like, and then they get disappointed when they project all of their fantasies onto the other person
And so
then they don't-
quickly.
Yeah,
And so
it's like,
quickly.
oh my God, you're gonna be him, and
Yes.
and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, you're not him.
Right.
And so I think that in order to kind of avoid that is first really kind of giving yourself what you're looking for from someone else. So that's what I'm kind of in that phase right now.
That's nice.
Like I'm going through this phase. I just read this. There's this spiritual teacher. His name is Matt Kahn, and I just discovered him, and he talks about just really
Is
loving
that
yourself.
Genghis's second cousin? It is, right?
I don't know.
Okay, probably is.
But
That joke was lost on that woman asking for directions. Darn it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, but that would be funny
Yeah.
if he was.
Right.
But yeah, nobody just talks about like you know whenever you can, just love yourself. Like you know, if you're walking down the street, I love you,
Yeah.
and I've been trying in the last few days,
Well, we're
and
gonna.
I'm actually really enjoying it because so often we beat ourselves up in our minds, like oh I have to do
course.
this or I have to do
Of
that.
course.
What if you replace that with like you're awesome?
It's
Like, I
hard
love
to
you.
do. It's hard to get
really
there.
hard to
Yes, it
do.
is.
But I think that all informs relationships, and that all informs when you meet that person, when you bring that,
Yeah.
that you're just, I don't know, I just think you attract either a different person or you don't put up with certain type of people
Right.
because you're like, whoa, this is not making me feel good.
Yeah.
And I think it's also like what you feel, your intuition. You know, like, how does this person make me feel around them? Like, yeah, on one hand, it's like, oh, I want to make out with this person. But on the other hand, it's like, how do I actually feel around this person? Does this person make me feel brighter?
Right.
Does this person make me feel like a better person?
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of it is being present and trying
Yes.
to stay present and not thinking 20 years down the road, what is he going to look like as the father of my kids? But what
Right.
does this look like at the end of this date?
Right.
Wait,
Exactly.
okay, so Jasmine Loeb writes for the New York Observer. She's obviously brilliant and insightful, and
Thank you.
she smells amazing, and she's beautiful. So why would you not want to be a part of all that? So give everybody your Twitter handle and how people can get in touch with you and tell me that.
My
all that
column
stuff.
is the J Spot in the New York Observer, and J for Jasmine.
And Jenna,
and
and
Jenna.
and Jenna's best friend Marnie.
I
Obviously,
know.
you were thinking about all of us.
JM, the
JJM.
JM Spot,
Mm-hmm.
JJM,
J squared
JJM
M.
Spot, and yeah, I'm Jasmine Loeb, Lobe, as
What
in
she said.
frontal
Right.
or ear, and so Twitter Jasmine Loeb, Instagram Jasmine Loeb,
Are you
Facebook
picking up on a theme
Jasmine
here?
Loeb.
Jasmine Loeb. Yes.
I mean, I really like to
loves her name.
you know
Yes, we do.
change things up.
You're awesome.
And
You're so much fun. I'm
You're
going
so
to
much fun.
read you all the time.
Oh,
I
thank
am. You have a client now. I'm
Ah.
a fan. You do, and this one
And
as
me
well.
too.
Yes,
Oh, thank you.
totally.
So great.
And we
I
will give you
never
a lot of
read
fodder.
it.
Trust me, we have a ton of information that
I
you
love
can
that
write about.
because it's like
Right?
I'm a sponge, so it's,
We'll
you
get
know.
ready to start
The J spot's a
absorbing.
sponge.
Right? We're gonna
Gonna
take
absorb.
a break. We are gonna go smell all three of us right now.
Yeah.
We'll be right back right after this. She smells